Atmosphere has always been a big thing with us. We like sort of a bit of drama, you know, and it's the sort of song that starts. I like the way the song really almost gets sort of steadily louder right the way through. About the first 3.5 minutes of the song, it just gets louder and louder, and just sort of steadily builds this sort of tension, and then it releases it when you get to the chorus. I think this is good because I think it does, you know, it's got perhaps what people might call the later Genesis and some of the sort of more immediate sort of kind of things, and I think we get better and better at doing those, I think.
With Tony Banks and Phil Collins of Genesis. In fact, in reality, Phil, you're the Genesis, you're the baby of the group, aren't you? Because you were the last person to join.
I've only been in the group 21 years.
Only 21 years.
That's right. I get used to it, though.
Did you all think that you'd still be doing Genesis now? Back then in 1970 when you...
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, you really, I think the way we looked at it at the time was very much a sort of one, 2, 3 year thing, maybe, if you were lucky.
The way this lot were arguing as well. It was quite extraordinary that we got past the first year, really.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
There was a lot of arguments in the early days, in fact, you know.
But also it was a different kind of music world and industry and everything, hasn't it? The industry itself has changed so much and progressed, and video, of course, is now here. We have a different kind of thing. But well, Genesis somehow has survived and gone through.
That's right. I mean, then it was all like going up and down the motorways, you know, doing gigs.
Yeah. Which
I'm sure still happens, but not to the same extent that it used to. I mean, that's how you made your name before the days of music television, before the days of videos. Yeah. You just did it by live gigging, really.
But does Genesis still mean the same thing for you, each individually in your hearts, as it did when you started back then?
Well, it's a difficult question to answer that, really. I mean, you feel different as a person, you know. I think emphases have changed in your life. You know, it was absolutely, I think one's focus was very, very 100% on Genesis in those days. Obviously now there are other focuses, whether it be other parts of your career, you know, solo stuff and things, or whether it be sort of families and kids and all the other things in life. But I was feeling...
When we're doing it.
Yeah, when you're doing it, you're as intense as ever, I think. That's the point. It's just you're perhaps not quite so single-minded. You are able to see things outside that now.
Right. Well, we, as we were saying, you're going out on a world tour, but sensibly you're doing a 5-month though. We've got Dire Straits coming up now.
We're not sensible.
2 years, off you go. You begin rehearsing, then you're off for 5 months, and I presume it's 5 months of drugs, booze, chicks.
That's right.
Sort of TVs out there. Do you enjoy it? I mean, going out there and doing it again. I mean, because it's a huge tour, isn't it? I mean, there's like 60 trucks going out, and 200 people.
I don't know about all that stuff. You don't want to believe all that.
No?
I mean, there's lots of trucks and there'll be lots of people. I mean, I don't think you can pin it down to those numbers. Well, the thing I don't like about that is it always makes it sound like a huge conglomerate, you know. It's just that all it is just 3 of us, Chester and Darryl, makes 5, and a few roadies, you know.
Yeah.
And there are these unseen heroes that sort of put the stage up and take it down, but they're not really part of our team.
Right. So you've got like a little nucleus of people who you see and work with, and the rest of it is this thing which takes it there, and you just...
Right.
You arrive and then you leave.
Yeah.
But it'll be good fun, yeah. I mean, there is... I think by the time we come around to the end of the tour, we'll still be enjoying it. You know? And we always enjoy the shows anyway. It's just the actual travelling that sometimes.
So when you are getting prepared for this kind of tour, I mean, how many sort of songs are you thinking of rehearsing? Because you're going back with LPs way back to the 70s. I mean,
well, I don't know about the number of songs. I can't, because our songs vary in length from sort of, you know, 4 to 10. And mind you, the 4-minute songs always end up being 10 minutes by the time you've done them on stage for a bit.
Right.
But we'll be doing about 2.5 hours of music. Right. And the concentration, I suppose, will be, as usual, towards the more recent stuff. But
hour and a half introductions.
Yeah, that's it. Tiny introductions, actually. They're longer than the songs. It goes on and on and on. Yeah, we're certainly do some stuff from earlier days for those people who like to hear that kind of thing. Which I do. I like it. Hey, on. But some of it may be in the form of a medley, because you know, if we start doing sort of half a dozen songs from the early days, then that's really all we do. You know, because they're all quite long.
Yeah, quite big.
So that's right. Yeah, some 25-minute songs, things like that. So bits and pieces.
Well, great. Well, listen, I'm sure many people out there watching now will be wanting to go and see you live. So keep watching your own TV. We'll give you the tour details. Thanks for joining me here today. And we're actually going to hand over right now to the current video. Jenny. Do we just sit here like this? Is it?
More like a freak or publicity stunt.
Those days we were talking more about fantasy, trying to build up a kind of unreal world, whereas now we tend to stick more with real ideas. Well, when I first started, you know, in this business, I mean, the thing that excited me most about rock, what we could do with rock music, was this idea that something people weren't doing, which was just using the pieces to go from section to section and telling stories with music, rather than feeling this need you could have a verse and a chorus and a bridge.
Out of the 3 of us, I'm the 3rd. I think Tony and Mike, and Tony being the first, is probably the more what you would call, what you said about the chords. I think that's down to Tony. and then to a lesser extent Mike.
Well, I'm probably the one who's always trying to pull it kind of furthest from commerciality. I mean, that's me, you know. I kind of like, I'm more interested in things that haven't been done before. For some people will say that we now sound like Phil's solo albums, and that's because they listen to the voice. If you listen to the voice, obviously, the voice is the same. But if you're a person who listens to chords, you know, then you will say, well, there's something that runs through all of Genesis.